Hi, I'm Lisa and I'm from the Pretty Sweaty Stuff Yoga. So we'll start lying on our backs, feet about mat distance apart, and if it feels okay, allow the knees to knock on inwards. Maybe placing your hands on top of the belly. And if you haven't already, close down the eyes. Tapping into feeling. How do you feel from your toes all the way to the top of the head? Is there anything in particular that's cropping up for you right now? So today's practice is going to be super simple, and it shouldn't feel stressful. Stretching into our hamstrings can be quite tough for some of us, so make sure you be careful and take good care of yourself. Taking a big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One last time together, big inhale. Long exhale. Making sure you can keep this new breath throughout the practice. So set up for your bridge pose. Feet about hip width distance apart and make sure you can tickle the heels. If you've got any knee pains, you might want to try scooching the feet forwards a little bit more. Press down the heels, lift your hips up. Draw the belly in, activate into the glutes. Press down all 10 toes. And then slowly lower all the way down. Press down on that left foot, lift your hips up. And then draw your right knee into the chest. You can stay here if you like, it feels okay. Extend your right leg to the ceiling. Keep pressing down on that left foot. Make sure that left knee's not rolling inwards. And then slowly release. Other side. Press down on that right foot, lift your hips up. And then bring your left knee into the chest, or maybe extend it towards the ceiling. Keep dragging your right heel towards the head, activate into the hamstrings. Breathe. And then slowly release all the way to the ground. And just stay here for a moment or two to settle the back. We'll lift all the way up, coming to our first downward facing dog. Hands about shoulder width distance apart. Push the ground away from you to create that slope along the spine. And then lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. I'm assuming if you're doing this practice, you've got tight hamstrings, so bend into the knees if you do. Maybe wiggle around if that feels good. And making sure you ground the inner palms, the knuckles and the fingertips into the mat. So how does your downward dog feel? Or rather, how does your body feel in your downward dog? This might be your first one or your 10th one. But how does it feel compared to when you were lying down? And gradually find some stillness in your downward dog. And then we'll come to lower the knees to the mat. Stepping your right foot forwards between the hands and extend your front leg, half splits. Keep the right foot flexed as you keep pulling back on that right hip. Keep a little bit of activation here by imagining dragging the right heel towards that left foot. Breathe. When you're ready, ground your front foot and then lift your hips up. Front leg is straight. You can always scoot your back foot in a little bit more for your pyramid pose. So the back toes roughly points in the direction of that left corner of the mat. Knees and toes follow each other. And keep the length of the spine. So if the floor seems a bit far away from you, you can always again use a chair, blocks if you've got some, or even a wall. Begin to lift your right toes towards the ceiling and drag your right heel towards that left foot. Keep finding length along the spine. And then notice maybe any sensation in the calf. Ground your right foot to the mat. Inhale, long flat back. Exhale, maybe fall down a little bit deeper if you've got more space. So it's really common here to open up that left hip in order to fold down a little bit deeper. But keep pulling back on that right hip, left hip goes forwards. So we're finding squareness in them. And take your time, we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Remember to look for that triangle shape in the body, bending the knees if you need to. And then lower the knees to the mat as you step your left foot forward, extending to that front leg half split. See if you can get the hips to stack on top of the right knee, and then pull the head forwards to keep that straight spine. Breathe. Ground your front foot, lift your hips up for your pyramid pose, and then maybe scooching that back foot in a little bit more. So keep pulling back on that left hip. If you need to find the squareness a little bit more, don't be afraid to widen the stance. And then lift your left toes up towards the ceiling. Again, think about dragging that left heel towards that right foot. And then release your left toes into the mat. Inhale, pull the chest through, long flat back. And then if you've got more space, maybe fall down a little bit deeper. Keep grounding into that right foot. And make sure you're not locking out that front knee. Don't be afraid to use props if you need to. Take your time, meeting back in your downward facing dog. Inhale, look at it in front of you. Easy walk to the top of the mat, folding forwards. And then maybe pedal it out through the legs if that feels good. Inhale, halfway lift, pull the chest through, maybe hands on top of the shins. Exhale, fold forwards. Press down the feet. Inhale, lift you all the way up, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands together, heart center. Ground through that left foot as you hug your right knee in. Take a deep inhale, exhale, bow down halfway. Keep that nice straight spine, send the head forwards, and then begin to extend and float your right leg behind you, warrior three. If this doesn't feel good, you can always use your chair or a prop. Even a wall is handy too. And then slowly lift all the way up. Release the foot to the ground. Hug your left knee in as you come for your warrior three. Extend and float your left leg behind you. So as you extend and float your left leg, see if you can bring your torso parallel to the ground. Keep sending the head forwards. Feel free to place your hands on top of a block or a chair. Keep driving the left hip down. Keep breathing. And then lift all the way up, stand at the top of the mat. Scoot your feet nice and wide, pivot the toes out as you bring the butt all the way down. Yogi squat. Checking that the knees are in line with the toes. Sit nice and tall. So if this does not feel good, feel free to sit on a chair or sit on top of a block. And then release your fingertips behind you as you bring the seat to the ground. Extend the legs out in front of you. Again, if you've got tight hamstrings, keep a bend in the knees. Keep the lower back happy. Take a deep inhale, find length along the spine. And then as you exhale, maybe you like to fold forwards. So don't make it a goal to touch your toes. Just find a nice stretch. Find that sensation. Remember, you're not stressing the body out. And then lift all the way up. Bring that left foot to the inside of that right thigh. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, fold down towards that right leg. Again, feel free to keep that right knee bent. And then whenever you're ready, we'll trade sides. Left leg long, tucking that right foot in. So remember, don't feel like you have to fold forwards. Just remember to keep breathing, keep that breath nice and soft. Lift all the way up, and then come to a comfortable seated position, whatever feels good for you. Close down the eyes and relax your whole body. Taking a big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it go. Twice more, big inhale. Long exhale. One last time, big inhale. Full complete exhale. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my practice with you. With love and gratitude, namaste.